Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're off to see the stars. We're going to go to a lovely town where the viewing of the stars is really lovely. It's about 92 kilometres north of Perth, not too far from the coast, a beautiful environment for agriculture, available water. They grow a lot of lovely things including olives and oranges. They got some farming there too for cattle. What I'm really interested in, and I hope you'll join me, is to look at the stars. We're off to Gingin. Did you know the first European to visit the area was the explorer George Fletcher Moore in 1836, and he recorded the Aboriginal name of Gingin with a J. How the spelling moved to Gingin with a G is yet to be discovered. Could it be the world's first typo? Well, what we do know is it means footprint or place of many streams. Today we're off to Gingin. We're going to explore the beautiful place. We're going to see the Gravity Centre, where there's some great work discovering gravity waves. We'll hear more about that. We'll see the Gingin Observatory. We're also going to see a bright yellow $1 million telescope and a charming place to stay. Brad Whitiker joins us now. He's the Education Manager at the Gravity Discovery Centre, and it's an awesome place you have here. Now tell us, why do we have this centre?
This centre was set up as an educational offshoot to the real scientific research which is going on to track down gravity waves. Now, gravity waves come through our universe at the speed of light, and they come from supernova explosions or neutron stars rotating around each other or black holes, and they send these gravity waves through the universe, which Einstein predicted back in 1916. Correct me if that's the wrong date. Scientists are doing some real research here to try and measure those gravity waves. They believe they'll find them within the next 6 to 8 years, and this facility was set up initially by the state government as an educational resource for students and adults to come in and learn more about the universe, black holes and that sort of thing.
Now, what will these gravity waves mean for us at home? What will it mean to scientists as well in the world?
Okay, so as a spin-off, for human life, there's already been a few spin-offs. One of those is ultra high efficiency air conditioning, which will be something in the future, and that could essentially go a long way to saving our planet. Another one is a sapphire clock, which is the most precise clock ever, and that goes a long way to helping satellites and the GPS systems navigating our globe, because to have that really precise measurement is really important for those pieces of equipment. And there are a number of other spin-offs that will come further into the future as scientists discover more and more.
Now here's a real challenge for you, Brad Whitiker. How can you explain to us about gravity waves, how we measure them? Because I'm thinking you'd have to be pretty smart, and Einstein, well, he was a genius. Can you explain it in simple terms so I can understand?
Sure. I'll keep it as simple as I can. There's 2 long tunnels perpendicular to each other. They go for 4 kilometres each one. There's a vacuum inside that tunnel, so no air. There's a laser beam that shoots along each tunnel, and when the gravity wave passes Earth, the laser beam inside those 2 tunnels, which bounces off mirrors at either end, will slightly be disturbed as the gravity wave passes through the Earth, and that precise, minute measurement is what they're looking for. There's 5 observatories around the world, and if they all find that they have that measurement at a similar time, they believe that a gravity wave has passed through the Earth. And the measurement is so precise, it'll be the smallest measurement ever made by mankind. It's equivalent to measuring the width of a human hair in the space between the Earth and the Moon. So it's about I can't remember, it's 1/1000th of an atom or something. The actual measurement will be so small.
And how many goes do we get to take this measurement?
At the moment, a gravitational wave with the current equipment only is measurable once every 20 years, but with the next generation equipment, which will now go into action in the next few years, a gravity wave should be able to be measured from distant galaxies about once every week. So scientists should discover gravity waves and measure them within the next 6 to 8 years. Einstein said that they'd never be measured, and scientists are hoping to prove him wrong. The gravity waves have they are proven to exist. So space is very stiff. Einstein, in his measurements, and there's one up there on the wall that you might see later on, that formula shows that space is very stiff. So when a gravity wave passes through it, it really becomes a very small wave in space, because space is so stiff. And so Einstein said they'd never be measured, but scientists are confident.
Well, this is exciting news, and here at Gin Gin we're playing an important part of it. How does that make the local community here feel? Are they aware of the amazing science taking place?
I hope so. Most of them are. It's very well supported by the local community, newspapers, etc. Our message is to tell the public about this wonderful research that's going on, and really coming to the centre is a big wow factor. Wow, this is what the universe has out there. It's black holes, neutron stars, and hopefully our goal is to leave visitors leave with more questions than they came with. Wow, is this really our place in the universe? There's billions of galaxies, all with billions of stars, and hopefully it leaves visitors with that wow factor that they didn't understand before.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many interesting things right here at the Discovery Centre. I'm going to say cool gadgets, but clearly there's better science. There's a ball floating in air. How does that work?
It's called a Bernoulli ball. That is basically an anti-gravity device. So gravity pulls us all to Earth, and that device is simply an anti-gravity device and a bit of fun. You can put 3 or 4 balls in at one time, and they can rotate around each other, causing chaotic rotations, which is also a concept of what happens out in real space as well. There is some chaotic orbits. For example, Pluto's orbit is slightly off-centre to the rest of the planets in our solar system.
Poor Pluto. I think they should turn it back to a planet. I reckon it's got a tough job there.
Yeah, it's out of luck, I'm afraid.
That's right. However, we're in luck here in Gin Gin, and we're drawn to the Gravity Centre, so we can't wait to hear more, and good luck with the research.
Thanks very much. Yeah, thank you again.
Thank you, Brad. Nice fellow, isn't he? Next, we're off to discover the Gravity Centre, and we're going to discover some balls that defy gravity here on Earth. Let's explore the Discovery Centre. I want to find out what's happening. I want to be on the ball. Woo! Magic. It's science. This is the chaos mirror. We're very used to regular orbits of those of the Earth and the Moon, and often in the universe orbits are less regular. Simple systems are often chaotic. They never repeat themselves, as this is showing. And did you know many fascinating executive toys use pendulums and magnets to create chaotic motion? Here, the steady motion of a rotating magnet is converted into the chaotic motion of the ball. This display gives you a bit of an idea of Einstein's view of space. When planets move in space, they make almost imperceptible dimples in the curvature of space. Now, these are hard to see directly and easy to see by their effect on passing beams of light. You'll notice the cups and the distortions of the reflected light. Space is like an elastic membrane, but it is really a membrane in 4 dimensions. Here on Earth you weigh 1 figure, and a hefty figure I am, as you can see. Now, what would I weigh on the Moon? How about on Mars? Alright, let's go to Jupiter. I think I'm stuck. Oh, here's Pluto, much nicer. Although, I'd be lighter on Pluto, too cold. I prefer it much better here on Earth. Do you know, you can see Pluto with a telescope? Well, actually you'd need a pretty amazing telescope, a very powerful telescope. And then you'd need a very remarkable telescope repairman, like Graham, or his friends know him as Supernova. Let's go talk to Graham. And I might sit down too, don't like standing. This is Graham Snow. He's the telescope technician joining us, and also known as Supernova. Nice to have you here, Graham.
Thank you, John.
How does a telescope work?
Okay, there are two basic types of telescope. There's a refractor type telescope and a reflector type telescope. A refractor type telescope uses lenses to bring the light down to a focal point, and a reflector type telescope uses a concave mirror to bring the light to a focal point.
Now, what about telescopes at home? For our people watching at home right now and they'd like to get a telescope and they can see some good things in the sky, what should we look for? What kind of a telescope should we be aiming at?
The size of telescope, I would recommend a reflector type telescope. I would recommend something about 4 inches diameter, perhaps 100 millimeters. A Newtonian type telescope on a Dobsonian mount, very nice and easy to use. They don't track, you have to move them around by themselves, but it gives a nice clear picture. You'll see the moon is fantastic. But the most important thing in buying a telescope is its mount and its tripod. It needs stability to stop vibration.
How many dollars should we spend on a tripod?
Okay, well, when you purchase a telescope for the first time, it will actually come with its own tripod and its mount, and it's actually when choosing a package you would choose one with a good solid tripod. Appreciate that the telescope is very sensitive. It's seen a very small area in the sky, and any vibration in the tripod or the telescope mount get magnified. So the tripod and the mount are very important.
Now tell us, your nickname, Supernova, how did you get that?
Okay, yep, I'm a bit of a small explosion, no, a large explosion. I'm very technical, and when I fix something or create something, non-technical people are amazed. So, yep, I'm a bit of an explosion.
Well, it's been a real blast having you here. I want to thank you very much for being on the program, and we'll see you again.
Thank you, John.
Supernova, Graham, I like it. And did you know you can see the stars really quite nicely with a good pair of binoculars? The issue is they are very difficult to keep steady. They wobble around. That's probably why Graham suggests investing in a very good tripod. It does make life a lot easier. Well, I want to see the stars through a very good telescope with a very good tripod, so I thought we might talk to a stargazer, or maybe a galaxy girl. Our stargazer joins us now, Carol Redford. I met Carol last night when I was here looking at the stars. It was just glorious. I fell in love with Saturn.
Wasn't it? It was just beautiful, just beautiful. And Saturn showing all of its rings at the moment, just lovely to look at, isn't it, in the night sky?
It looked just like in the science fiction movies. You know, when you watch those old Buck Rogers movies, I thought it was a slide. It was so perfect.
I know. The great reaction we often get is when people look at Saturn through a telescope for the first time, they ask, well, where's the sticker? They think there's a sticker stuck right on the front of the telescope, but of course it's not. It's just beautiful Saturn in all its glory.
Well, I was stuck to the telescope. I'll give you the tip. Now, why are we here in Gingin? Why do you have an observatory here in Gingin?
Well, Gingin's away from the Perth city, of course. We're about an hour's drive north from the city, and we're away from all of the lights that the city emit. Perth's quite a bright city, but you don't have to go very far out of it, and you just get under these beautiful dark skies with no light, hopefully no cloud as well, and gorgeous stargazing from horizon to horizon. Just beautiful.
Well, that's the good thing about our state here in Perth, because we have so few cloudy days. In fact, apparently we're supposed to have more sunny days than any other city, which is pretty good.
imagine that.
Now, what about these telescopes? We've already had a chat to Graham about how they work. What's the history of them?
Yes, well, this observatory was founded by a gentleman called David Nicholson, and he brought his telescopes over from another observatory to found this one. So they're about 15 years old, all of these telescopes. One of them was donated by Sir Lawrence Brodie Hall. That's our largest telescope, which is called Obsession. We all have nicknames up in this place. Obsession is a beautiful big telescope with a 65 centimetre mirror, and we see some wonderful objects through that one. But yes, so all of those telescopes came across about 9 years ago now. The observatory is nearly 9 years old.
And have you had a favourite that you've looked into the skies above, into the heavens? Has there been something that you've loved as much as I love Saturn?
Yes, I know. I think my favourite objects are the globular clusters of stars. They're massive amounts of stars. So, for instance, at the moment we're looking at Omega Centauri, which is a globular cluster of stars. It's about 5 million stars all packed tightly together in one glob, I suppose you'd call it. And
Hence the glob.
Hence the glob, globular, that's right. And it's incredible to look at. It looks like almost like shattered glass or looking through a kaleidoscope. Quite incredible objects. And I think they're my favourite, even over Saturn, I'm afraid.
Well, that's all right. Everyone to their own. And I love how you can see the colours in the sky. I got to see various kinds of red, which for me was fascinating enough, but you've seen other colours.
Yes, in fact, we look at a star cluster called the Jewel Box, and that's visible at the moment too in the night sky. And the Jewel Box is a cluster of several hundred stars, but 3 of them in there are 3 different colours. And of course, a star is a different colour depending on how old it is. All stars start white hot, brilliant white hot, and then they eventually turn yellow, then to orange, and then red before they die. They burn up all of their energy at that point and die. But in the Jewel Box, there's 3 different coloured stars. One's a diamond, white, one's a sapphire, blue, and the other's a ruby red. Just pretty to look at in the sky.
Do you know, I did some free star observing last night because I was out in my tent and I stuck my head outside, and not only did I see a lot of meteors, but I saw one amazing one and it had pink in its tail. How about that?
Really pink. Okay, I often see green coloured meteors coming through, but not the pink. And that, of course, it depends on what that meteor or what that bit of rock or sand is made of.
That's right, because it has the metal and gases.
That's right.
Yeah, so, you know, you too can come out here and see it all. It's right above us, and places like this help you see it. Thanks, Carol.
You're very welcome. All you need is a dark sky and lie out underneath the Milky Way.
Welcome back, and have I got an amazing telescope for you? It's yellow. However, that's not the most amazing thing about this $1 million telescope. And also, we're going to talk to Kay White about a lovely place to stay while you're here in Gingin. Or is it Gingin? This is the Zadko telescope. It's worth $1 million. The camera alone is worth $100,000. It was provided by a gentleman by the name of Jim Zadko, and he's made this available so we can take photographs deep into the universe. Did you know the camera takes photographs at 2 megapixels? Yeah, about that of your average mobile phone. However, don't be disillusioned, because what this does that's really remarkable is it removes the noise. Now, the noise is a lot of the black that's in the photograph, and that somehow takes it away so we can see deep and far into our universe. And it's all thanks to our yellow friend. Kay White is here from Willow Brook Farm, Tea Rooms and Caravan Park. Kay, lovely to see you.
How are you, John?
Oh, good. I stayed here last night and I had the loveliest time, because the main reason I came here to Gingin is I wanted to see the stars. And so I got in the tent and I stuck my head outside, and it was wonderful. The stars looked magnificent. Saw some meteorites too. I saw a pink one. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yep, no pollution in the skies, so it makes it excellent viewing.
Now tell us about your camping area here. Now, why do people love to come to Gingin and stay here?
Well, because there's quite a lot to see in the area, and also we offer a caravan park with a little bit of a difference. We're owner-operators and we're a small park, and we do lots of social things in the park, which makes it very interesting, and we all meet heaps of wonderful people.
Yeah, you do pancakes too, right?
No, we do scones.
scones. That's it. I knew it. It was on a Sunday.
Yeah, complimentary scones for everyone in the park every Sunday morning.
And they're scone pretty quickly.
Yes, they are. They're good. We cook up to 20 dozen at a time sometimes, depending on how many's in the park. And we have bush balladeers. We have all sorts of entertainment at different long weekends and that sort of thing in the park.
Oh, I love it. Now, what made you decide to get into hospitality in the way of caravan parks?
Well, we used to have caravan clubs. We've had caravan clubs for many, many years, and we decided that the right way to go was to be a gazetted caravan park. So that's what we've done, and we've listened to what caravanners themselves have wanted, and like grass bays, big bays, all the things that a lot of parks don't have, and to offer that little bit of personal atmosphere in the park, and we think we've done it quite well.
Now, if I was going to start a caravan park, I'd have ideas on how much fun it might be, how easy it might be. But what do you reckon people at home are forgetting when they think about how easy it is to run a caravan park? Because it seems like it'd be a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. The hardest part is building it and getting through these tremendous restrictions, laws, all sorts of things like that. The great part about it is the people that you meet along the way. Yep, that's most definitely the really interesting part. It's a 7-day-a-week job, but we're a little park and we're owner-operators, so yep, it's great.
It's been great having your company, and thanks for a beautiful park.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's our pleasure, and we'll hope to see you again.
John loves to receive your letters and emails, so send your letter to Post Office Box 6721 East Perth 6892, or you can email. Maybe even view his website. Back to you, John.
That's all we have time for. I look forward to your company next time, and remember, if you've got a little bit of time spare, Jin would love to see you. That's where it is, right there. Jin. See you next time. Goodbye. Goodbye.